a spark cracked. A loud pop echoed, and then came the sweetest scream I'd ever heard from over the fence. Vanessa Reed, my entitled neighbor, wailing as if her designer boots had been set on fire. Technically, it was her son's ATV charger that went up in flames, and technically, she'd earned it. You don't siphon power from an electrical engineer and get a free pass. Not after I warned her, not after the HOA brushed me off, and definitely not after she laughed and told me, "It's just a little juice, chill out." Oh, I chilled out. All right, I chilled out by lighting up her backyard with enough voltage to turn her knockoff ATV into a barbecue grill. But let's go back. You need the whole story of how we ended up here at this electric karmic work of art, because it didn't begin with sparks. It began with a little blip on my energy monitor. I'm Ethan Carter, not some dude with a toolbox and a grudge. I'm a systems engineer who plans power grids for data centers. Electricity is my playground. So when my solar inverter reported unusual drains during slow times, I noticed most wouldn't, but I'm wired differently. I live in a quiet neighborhood where people brag about manicured lawns and organic mulch I keep to myself, fine-tuning my home system, monitoring quirks. That week I saw it each evening 1 to 3 a.m., a 1.88 watt-hours sag unmatched by my appliances, not the AC, not the hot tub, not my battery backup. Something external was draining. That's when I suspected Vanessa, the power vampire next door. You know her type. Oversized sunglasses, a voice like a megaphone, zero sense of boundaries. She'd moved in 2 years ago, post-divorce, trailing chaos, brunch hangovers, HOA rule bending. She somehow evaded her hobby making neighborhood rules using the HOA as a scepter. She had once yelled at a kid for skateboarding by her roses. Recently, she'd had her eye on an electric ATV for her teenager, loud, gaudy, and power-hungry. I first noticed the clue when I was pruning bushes, a yellow extension cord crawling over my fence, disappearing behind my shed. No way, I thought I didn't have any outdoor outlets there, unless she wouldn't. That evening I turned off all outside breakers, except one. Next morning, the log dipped at 2:12 a.m. I followed the fence cord, gone retracted, but I'd take pictures. Time to discuss. I called her Belle Calm, hoping it was an error. She answered wearing leggings and a sun hat, holding a smoothie like a suburban monarch. I mentioned the drain inquired if her son had tapped my power. She smiled. "Oh, that yeah, we borrowed a little charge, our garage panel's down. You've got solar, right? You'll never miss it." "That's not the way it goes," I told her. "It's theft, and it tinkers with my grid." She patted my arm. "Chill tech, dude. It's not like we're hot wiring your vehicle." I stormed out, gears churning. I complained to the HOA. They guaranteed to take action 3 days later. I received a notice admonishing me for hostile neighbor behavior and hazardous fence mods. Vanessa had flipped it, saying I'd rigged traps to shock her family. Stunned, I abandoned defense. She'd plugged into my world game on. She didn't know who she'd provoked. I've constructed backup grids for hospitals on scraps and coffee. She thought I was a nerd with panels. She didn't know I'd make her joy ride a bonfire. That night, I drew a trap, a decoy outlet, legal safe, but brutal to overeager chargers. I installed it on my side, angled to appear abandoned, wired to a surge circuit. It would burn anything, drawing over 3 amps, house equipment safe, ATV charger cursed. 3 nights later, the cord came back. At 2:17 a.m., my log peaked. A blue flash illuminated my shed. A pop echoed, and Vanessa's scream shattered the silence. Her son in pajama pants sprinted out gaping as his ATV billowed. I grinned wide as thin. This was only the beginning. Morning dragged Vanessa pacing, screaming about tampering, calling authorities. I drank coffee, observing out my window. The cord disappeared, the ATV covered like proof. She didn't learn. She amplified. An HOA servant. Miles appeared. Clipboard and tow. "You can't manipulate outlets on shared lines," he growled, quoting regulations Vanessa had distorted. I clarified it was mine, code compliant. I didn't refer to the surge loop, safe for humans, deadly to thieves. He wrote grumbling about reviews. I provided a muffin. He refused. She doubled down, so I'd step up. Not petty but precise. I upgraded the trap, Added a data logger in a birdhouse, alerting my phone to draws, triggering spikes. If thresholds reached, I set cameras shed her yard fence, all cloud-backed. I dangled the decoy cord rigged to fry if yanked. 4 nights later, 1:42 a.m. Alerts 2.7. Quad hours. Surge tripped. The feed. Showed a flash, a spark. The ATV wheezing smoke. Her son flailed unplugging too late. Twice now, all recorded, I took screenshots to the HOA. Clara, the desk clerk, gaped. She plugged in without asking. Twice, check Section 8, B utility theft. I told her. She frowned. Vanessa had allies remove outlets to de-escalate. She told Clara this HOA finds mailbox hues, but ignores her stealing. I could go off rid for months. I don't need your rules, enforce them, or I'm taking this to the city, she boked. I left. That night, Vanessa pounded my door furious. What did you do to my ATV? No clue, I said. Your son's traumatized. Maybe stop stealing power. She threatened a lawsuit. I flashed my logs and shut the door. She didn't knock again, but I knew she'd strike back 3 days later. A cop officer, Hayes, arrived. She'd claimed I'd rigged a death trap. I showed him footage, logs, schematics, safe legal thief proof. He laughed. Theft plain and simple. You're a good one. As he walked away, Vanessa glared across the street, daring me. I kept calm. Bigger games brewing. The HOA sent a $500 penalty for dangerous installs. I retaliated with pics, vids, and CC'd the city and utility board. Then neighbors came. Luke, Fancy, Grill, Ellen Waver, the Patels, caterers experiencing strange power fluctuations. Luke's fridge defrosted overnight. Ellen's lights receded. The Patels lost a freezer. Did Vanessa request to share your outlets? Bingo. They'd all experienced it. We met for coffee watches. My tapes laughed, created chocolade, 23 members by evening. She tapped on half of the block garden port's RV hookups. We locked outlets, set decoys. At the HOA meeting, we rolled in with proof. Vanessa deflected. Exaggeration, jealousy. But Neil, her ally, squirmed. We presented Bill's logs. Her ATV skyrocketed costs. She yelled about community power. The room erupted. Neil couldn't rescue her. Her privileges were suspended. Fines loomed, it grew. Her parties ran on stolen juice. Lights, fridges, karaoke. I sent data to the utility board. 3,000 quat hours stolen. $1,800 owed. They opened an investigation. She disobeyed their inspection notice, earning a subpoena. Neighbors cheered vindication. The HOA removed cronies, elected Gina, a firefighter who banned utility theft outright. Vanessa's yard fell silent. ATV sold parties dead. Her son mowing lawns humbled. She tried to return, posing flowers in a loud tracksuit, blasting tunes. No one bit. One day she apologized. Quiet, tired. I messed up. It's never harmless taking what's not yours, I said. She nodded, left. I didn't buy it fully, but maybe she'd learned. My porch was calm that night. Tea in hand, sun setting. No spikes, no cords, just peace. Hardwired by me, neighbors waved, kids biked free. Vanessa was done, unplugged for good.